What's up, guys? How we doing? Give me 1 second. All right, Christian Ballard, Ballard Sports Media, coming at you live on Saturday morning. College game day is going on. I don't have it on the TV right now. Honestly, kind of a small. I don't know. I wasn't too entertained by it this morning, but I do think it's cool they have Cody Rhodes as the guest picker. Of course, the big game everyone wants to talk about is Tennessee at Georgia. Um, that's a big game. We'll look at the schedule. We'll look at, I guess, Bama and Mercer. Really not much to look at there. Tennessee goes to Georgia. Oregon goes to Wisconsin. Wake Forest at North Carolina. Good rivalry in state. Uh, if North Carolina wins, they'll go to a bowl with their sixth victory. That's at 8 p.m. Eastern on the ACC network. Wake Forest is 4-5. Uh, so, yeah, I mean, North Carolina has beat Wake Forest, what, 4 years in a row now, I think? Let me share screen real quick. I don't want the tab audio. Just go. Okay. Yeah, looks for fourth straight win against Wake Forest in ACC play. Man, North Carolina, I love Mac Brown. I do. I think he's got a great team, but this is clearly rebuild here. They had 4 straight losses. James Madison, 70-50. Duke, Pitt, Georgia Tech. And they've won their last two, though. Virginia, and of course they did, Florida State. Who wins this one? I don't know. I have no idea. This could go either way. Probably Wake Forest, though. I think Wake Forest is a little bit of a better team. But the experts favor UNC by 10. Wake Forest, coming off a loss to Cal, they beat UConn, they beat Samford, they beat NC State. I think that's a okay win. It's not bad. They got a rough stretch. Who has the worst stretch? Okay, probably not even close, but Wake Forest. So they play each other, but then after they play each other at Boston College and then home against NC State for UNC, Miami and Duke to close out the season for Wake Forest. I think Wake Forest has it tougher. North Carolina, a little bit easier. So, but yeah, we're here. We are here. We'll take your questions. I hopefully have some answers. We got a couple watching right now, but we don't have any comments yet. Bama does have a cupcake today. And then the big game is, of course, Tennessee and Georgia in Athens tonight. Games at 6:30 Central. Line, I'm not sure if it's changed or not. I don't know what it was the other day, but it's currently 9 points in favor of the Dogs. So 56-degree weather. Question is, how many times does Carson Beck throw an interception? He's got 12 on the year. Compare that to Iamaliava, who's only got 4. I'll just say this. Georgia defensively can win this game. But if you're looking to get into a shootout, I fully trust Nico Iamaliava and the Tennessee offense with Dylan Sampson and everybody. I look, I cannot see Tennessee losing this game. And if it gets in a shootout, at least, I mean, Georgia's probably going to win, right? Like, we know that. But Double check our picks for this week too, by the way. They lock at game time. We'll take Navy over Tulane, Illinois over Michigan State, LSU over Florida, obviously. Oregon State over Air Force. Hate to do that to the Air Force there, but Oregon State looking like a better team. Baylor, West Virginia. My gut says West Virginia. So do 70% of ESPN people on the college pick'em. James Madison, Old Dominion. Old Dominion struggling. Could they pull a small upset? They could. And James Madison looks pretty solid right now. Arkansas State over Georgia State. Maryland and Rutgers. I kind of went back and forth here. I really don't know. What's the line on this one? Let's see the line. 4 points Maryland. Maryland's 4-5. Rutgers 5-4. Maryland can keep their season alive with the win today. I do like I do like Billy Edwards for Maryland. I think they got a solid offense. I really do. But against the better teams like Indiana, Minnesota, Oregon, obviously, they struggle offensively against the better defenses, and then they give up too many points. Ty Felton is a good wide receiver for them, 979 yards. Caden Prather, Dylan Wade at tight end, really, really good. They got weapons. Caden Prather, Octavian Smith. I could go down the list. They got great weapons on offense. You look at the defense. You look at Dante Trader. You look at the leader in sacks, tied really. There's Keelan Watt with 3 and Caleb Wheatland. And they should lead in sacks unless I find somebody else. Nope, it's those two. 13 sacks on the year for Maryland's defense, 84 sack yards. 84 sack yards. And when you look at this defense for Maryland, it's really not bad. It's really not. Defensively in the Big Ten, they are, well, they're second to last. I'll say this. I think the players are good. I think overall as a unit, though, they really can't add it up on paper. I mean, you look at some of the great defenses in the Big Ten, Maryland's not really up there. So I apologize for fixing to say they were really good defensively. Here's the thing. I think on paper they look bad. But when you really watch Maryland, they play together, they play tough, they play physical. And that to me makes a good defense. I'm not looking at rankings. Like I look at Penn State. Penn State in my book has played the best defense so far this season, outside of maybe Oregon or Georgia. I mean, they're allowing like 14 points a game, about 901 yards rushing so far this season, given up, and we're in week 12 or whatever. So, yeah. Let's check the comments. What's up, Go Big Orange? I know that's Timothy. It's a home game for Georgia. Georgia is coming off a butt whooping from Ole Miss. Tennessee's offense starts slow, and their defense gives up too many big plays early. Also says Georgia will probably be up by 2 or 3 scores before Tennessee's offense gets on the board and will not be able to recover. That's possible. I mean, you're talking about Ole Miss upsets Georgia last week in Oxford. Herbie, like a Nick Saban type, is really good at number one, revenge games, but also bouncing back after a loss. Like seriously. And I think Josh Heupel's that way too. Tennessee, though, has been on a roll. They haven't lost since Arkansas, but they've bounced back from it. I think if Tennessee wins today, I think it's a given they lock in a spot in the SEC title. If they lose, that's oh my Tennessee. Look, we got two SEC games left for the Vols at Georgia, at Vandy. If they win those, they're going to beat UTEP on the 23rd. Don't get it twisted, right? I don't know if they're going to beat Vandy. But what if they go on the road and upset Georgia tonight? Do they not lock in a spot in the SEC title? Who would have saw this coming? Well, Ballard in the preseason picked Texas and Georgia, and it was not going to be close. They're the two best teams. Those teams, respectively, are 3 and 4 in SEC standings. Tennessee and A&M are at the top right now. I mean, what do we got? Tennessee. I think they got to beat Vandy too, which is a high possibility. I mean, if they really are the team that we think they are, if Tennessee is it, they beat Alabama, they beat Kentucky. They haven't had a road game since Arkansas. They've had all their games at home practically. They have not traveled on the road since Arkansas on October 5th. So it's been over a month since Tennessee's been on the road. Right? I remember watching that game. I was actually I was in Georgia at the basketball games with the team for Wallace, and we were watching that game on the bus on the way back home, and that was something. I was shocking that Arkansas was able to do that. Arkansas is a good team, 5 and 4, 5 and 4 could win them, could make a ball game with a win, could make a ball game with a win. They got to beat Texas today, which I'll be careful there. I look. That's at Arkansas. That's coming up at 11 Central Time. That's the game I'm watching. I'm gonna watch that, and I'm gonna keep my eye on Clemson at Pittsburgh. Both teams 7-2. One team's ranked. That'd be Clemson at 20. So, how many total points will be scored in Georgia, Tennessee? I might change my pick here. I think Tennessee. I don't know how I want to do this. I picked Georgia at the moment, right? It's in Athens. It is a night game in Athens between the hedges. Oh, could Tennessee do it? I mean, they could lose this game and then win out and go to the playoffs, right? Like a two-loss Tennessee is not missing the playoffs. I don't think. If they win this one, do they solidify a spot in the SEC title? Does that get them one step closer? Could they win the SEC, get a top four seed, get a bye? Tennessee's in a really good spot right now. They're in a better spot than Georgia is. Only thing for Georgia, I think the only thing Georgia has in this game right now is the fact that it's at home. Tennessee's just better this year than almost anybody else in the SEC outside of maybe Texas and then A&M. Heck, I would take Tennessee over Texas A&M. Be a close game. Be a really close game. What's up, Harry? Hey, let me drop that link for y'all. I meant to do that. I want to hang out with you guys. I don't have all the time in the world, but if y'all want to stop in and say hey, feel free to. Good to see you, Harry and Mo T. Changed his name to Go Big Orange. Love you guys. Um, yeah, my gut says Tennessee's got this one. I could be wrong. I'm gonna put Tennessee on my pick 'em. for now. I might go back later and change it before. I mean, it locks at 6:30 when kickoff, right? You can go back and forth until then. Dogs are crippled up. Yeah, they got the injury bug a little bit, and they just kind of banged up from that Ole Miss game. That's what's the crazy part, bro. Is they played that Ole Miss game, and look, if Ole Miss can beat you, why can't Tennessee? Now I know Ole Miss was on the road. Ole Miss doesn't really have a defense. Georgia made mistakes, and it cost them the game. 28-10. You can't tell. Oh, well, Ole Miss had a great defense. I don't want to believe that for a second. They got Pete Golden out there, man. Ole Miss has never had a good defense that I've seen, at least since Lane Kiffin's been at the helm. Oh, what's up, Harry?
Hey, good morning, Ballard. How you doing?
Good. What's up, man?
Uh, just kind of trying to get calm down here. We've got my oldest grandson turned 16 today, so we've been scrambling and
Happy birthday.
running back and forth to my daughter's house, carrying stuff down for the party today. And uh,
Right.
so not supposed to be down there at 1. And I had to bring her dog up to my house because at over 100 pounds, and he loves everybody. You can just imagine the chaos with tables set up and everything and food.
Yeah.
He is a dog.
Cool.
I just got back from getting him. So uh, I saw you on, so I jump in here and chat with you for a few minutes.
Yeah, you're
Uh,
a Georgia fan, so like
and
what
don't,
how do you feel? How do you feel about this Tennessee game?
well, I mean, every time you have one of these matchups like this, you get a little bit of angst going. But, looking at it from a distance, it's going to be a challenge. I think for both of us. Now, I like Tennessee's running game a lot better naturally with Sampson. The dude's going to get his, and if we can manage to keep him under, I'd say under 150, I think we got a chance. But uh, I don't see either team really and truly at this moment in time lighting the scoreboard up today. Uh, I think we see a slugfest here. Something we're on the order of like a 17-16 or something like that.
I
Uh,
would go like 21-17, and I'm sorry, man. I just really like the Vols today. I really do. It's
well,
hard, but I mean, I think they have the more well-rounded offense. Not that Georgia's is bad, but when you look at their quarterback situation, when you look at Sampson, especially, you mentioned the run game, they have it set up, and they got it all together for Tennessee. Uh, and I would trust that a little bit more. Now, the only advantage I'm giving Georgia personally is their defense and their consistency, but also it being at home at night. That's going to play a factor.
well, we haven't been home in a month, and that factors. 4 weeks
Yeah.
on the road. Well, one was by, but still, not having been in front of the home fans, you get that juice going. But biggest problem for Georgia today is our injuries, and you can look at what they put out on the paper Wednesday night and throw it in the garbage for all it's worth.
Mhm.
And guys that are out are out. All three of
Yeah.
the top running backs are gone. It's very doubtful that we'll see Cash Jones. He's been in a boot all week, so we're down to 3 freshman running backs. Now they may put Dylan Bell back there to spell one of them or to get some snaps on some edge stuff. I look for us to really work the edges today. Uh,
Okay.
our offensive line, we've got 9 guys that they rotate, and dadgone if 6 of them aren't hurt in some fashion, be it shoulders, uh, foot injuries again. I can't understand this. Why we have every year?
It seems like they're always like tripping over each other too. Like,
Well, these are like Jones fractures and stuff like that. Dislocations and things. I'm beginning to question the shoe manufacturer, which is Nike, and
yeah.
having to plug and play so much. I don't think we've developed enough continuity to make up for it, and that's on the coaching. Uh, There's a lot of dissent right now within Dog Nation. Trust me, this has been a hard week on the boards.
Yeah.
Even in the private board, which is usually really professional the way it's handled. There's been some hot takes. I'll promise you that about uh, coaching changes and things of this nature. A lot of folks lost on a lot of folks. We replaced four on the field coaches, uh, from last year to this year, and I think it's hurt the continuity of the team in a lot of ways. And not having Muschamp there to oversee the defense, I think that's hurt us too. Defense is playing okay, but it could they could do better. They could do better, even though we're young
Yeah.
as hell. That's something else to worry about for you other guys, for all you guys. You know, we got one senior and three freshmen in the defensive backfield. We got two red shirts playing linebacker. Uh,
Yeah.
uh, we got a lot of youth playing, and if we had a wide receiver or two that could actually hold on to the football, I would feel a lot better. But we've had, we lead the nation in drops. What a
Right.
great statistic to be leading the nation in.
I think there's yeah, that is a great statistic. Got the scoreboard pulled up here. Of course, no games on yet, but this one intrigues me. Jump around at night, 6:30 Central Time on NBC. Wisconsin hosts Oregon. Oregon is undefeated, rightfully so, the number one team still. I need to look at who they got coming up. I know they got at Wisconsin, and then they get a bye, and then they're with Washington. Um, hmm. I think they win the Washington game. I think if there's a chance for Oregon to lose, it might be at night at Camp Randall. This looks interesting. Now they are favored by 13 and a half, but I look at Wisconsin and they've always had good defense. Jaheim Thomas is their leading tackler. I like Vinny Anthony the second is their lead receiver. He's fast, he's versatile, he can catch almost any ball you throw his way. Braden Locke is in. I think Tyler Van Dyke's had the injury bug a little bit, from my understanding. So I don't know. What do you think about some of these other games that could be on tonight? Kansas, BYU, Ohio State at Northwestern this morning. Um, any other games stand out to you today?
Well, the Oregon Wisconsin is as it has to be one of the intriguing games of the day because it features the number one team, and the, if Wisconsin year two of year two here, they've shown some
Pickle. Yeah.
signs. They've shown signs, but I think they're still a year away from putting it together to where they look like a threatening football team. They switched offenses, and went to a more wide open attack, and to some extent, I think that's been a detriment to them, given the personnel. Uh, I watched them. What game was it? Uh,
You watched the bat. You're talking about Wisconsin, right?
yeah, I watched them play a couple weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
Wasn't terribly impressed. I mean, they play hard, but I don't know if they got the speed to stay with Oregon. That speed kills, and they got it.
Yeah.
So it could be a boat race, or it could be a brass knuckle beat down there. I don't think that Oregon wins a brass knuckle beat down with anybody. I think they can outrun you, but I don't think they can fight you. Not like we fight
Yeah.
here in the SEC. No. If they were playing the SEC schedule, they would not be undefeated. I guarantee that. Not this year.
Uh, Missouri at South Carolina gets me interested because I
South
had previewed that a little bit. I forget who I picked, but I did say something along the lines of like, this is a game you kind of don't want to mess with. Missouri's a better team, but
Carolina.
going on the road against a home favorite in South Carolina is like, you just it's not easy money there.
I disagree. I think South Carolina is on the heater, and they've shown steady progress last 3, 4 weeks. Even though they lost one game, they still were playing crippled up a little bit. They're about healed up now. Sellers about
Yeah.
percent. Now they can force the issue instead of having to be picky like we are. And that's something else that really you got to watch out for. Whether or not Georgia can attack or will attack, or play passively not to lose, which is what I kind of got the impression that we were doing against Ole Miss. And
Yeah.
we get fourth quarter is what cost us the game. The turnover after we drove for 9 minutes, and we're in prime position to score a touchdown, and then to turn the dang ball over, that ended it. And but South Carolina has got the front four. Uh, actually, their front seven is probably tops in the conference on defense. I'd say Tennessee was second, just from eyeball test.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
like.
I when these teams get together, it is usually a really good game. I just think it's like I agree with your assessment on South Carolina. I'm just saying Missouri has still been a pretty good team, but the last few weeks, as the season's gone on and they've played tougher competition like this game they're going to have this afternoon, they have not looked good at all. I mean, Bama shut them out, and then their second loss was it not against someone like Tennessee? Who did they lose to? Oh,
Mm,
they lost to A&M in a blowout. That's right, 41-10.
yeah, A&M dog walked them.
Yeah, they're yeah. No,
And
they.
now,
I don't know how they beat. I have no idea how they beat Oklahoma last week.
oh,
But
Oklahoma gave that game away, dude. They gave it
yeah,
away. They had them, and they just shot themselves in the foot, mistake after mistake. Uh, the penalties.
Alabama needs Georgia to win to get a race for the SEC title, says Cody Hankins.
Yeah, that would
Yeah.
definitely make Alabama's chances for Atlanta immensely better if we can get the victory. Uh, Man, can you imagine these tiebreakers if this plays out
Yeah.
as we see it? Let's say, for instance, that Texas loses to A&M, so that gives them their second loss. So
Mhm.
everybody got two.
Everybody gets two, but some of these teams, like Bama, doesn't play the Texas teams. We beat Georgia. We
Right.
don't play the Mississippi schools, so nothing's going to happen with like Ole Miss other than I think Alabama's sitting there. They're sixth right now in the SEC, but they're technically tied with like Ole Miss at 4-2 in conference, and Georgia's sitting there 5-2. I guess I don't know, man. Like they need a lot of help. Like teams better start losing these last few weeks. You
Well,
know,
y'all got a cake.
Vanderbilt needs to. What's that?
Bama got a cakewalk the rest of the way.
We do, we do. We got Mercer at Oklahoma and then Auburn. But
Win all three of those
I
easily.
think yeah, no, they'll finish 10-2, and I think 6-2. Um, yeah, 6-2. Oklahoma and Auburn in conference. So Uh, I don't know. I just personally, I don't see much of a path for Alabama to get in there unless everybody has two losses. And like you say, Tennessee, Texas magically, which isn't going to happen. Like now, Tennessee, well, okay, Tennessee could lose to Georgia and lose to Vandy. That would give them three SEC losses. So that knocks them out from first, obviously, but it also could knock them way down. Not like all the way to the bottom, but
It
I
could
mean,
knock them out of
Bama,
the playoffs.
it can knock them out of the playoffs. Ole Miss, I don't know what they got. Let me see. They got the Egg Bowl in Florida. I don't think it's going to happen for Bama this year, man.
I still think you make the playoffs. I'm
Oh,
not.
I think they make the
I
playoffs. I'm
I
saying it's a really tough path to the SEC.
yeah, they could have done a better job. I think. Of Well, I understand the logic behind what they did this year and next year
Mhm.
because we got a new deal coming up in 26. And that's what scares me about this committee. It's brand new. It only has 2 years to show its stuff. Well, it's already shown me that strength of schedule means absolutely nothing to them. And
Right.
we've still got 3 more of these playoff polls to come out. So they've got time to allow the wash to complete as we watch how things end up here because uh, Ohio State's got Indiana next week.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody seems to think, Cinderella, but homie gonna have to see that happen. I would be tickled to death to see Indiana win. No lie, I don't like Ohio State.
Yeah.
Now coming
I
out,
don't think they lose. I don't like Ohio State either. I don't know anybody other than Ohio State fans. Michigan fans really get salty with them.
and it
Um,
did get
yeah.
by Michigan last week. Michigan had a quarterback worth of salt. I think they would have beat
Mhm.
Indiana last week, and but they could not generate any offense at all.
I'm circling November 23rd. Circle that because that's when Ohio State hosts Indiana. Um, I think Indiana could win that. I think. I love Indiana this year. I really do.
Uh,
Not
he,
to win a
Coach
title, but you know,
Signetti was at Alabama, wasn't he?
I don't know where he came from. That sounds
Well,
familiar.
he was head
What
coach
is
at,
it? Kurt
and then
Kurt
he left James
Signetti.
Madison and went to Indiana. And he had James Madison tick. They were on a heater while he was there. The
He
couple.
played he was a quarterback at West Virginia when he played. 2-year letterman. Now he was at NC State, um, part of quarterback, tight end. He was at Alabama from 07 to 10. He was a wide receivers coach, looks like. And then he was at all these Division two or whatever, like IUP and Elon, James Madison, of course. And then he just got hired this year to Indiana. He's got a good record. I don't know what it is on the road or anything, but I mean, he was like 53-17 at IUP. He was 14-9 at Elon, 12-2. James, 52-9. Actually, I was reading one of the years um, for James Madison, and now he's 10-0. So he's 129-35 overall. He's
That's
good.
that's stout.
Yeah.
He's got
And
something.
you could say you can say whatever you want to about his competition as a head coach. Well, he played in this conference. He played in this conference, whatever. 10-0 Indiana? What were they doing last year? I mean, nothing? Too much? I mean, what'd they go? 6-6 maybe? They maybe made a ball game or 5-7?
I do not recall. Uh, they did not bowl, if I remember correctly. Or if they
Okay.
did,
I
if
figured they had like 4 or 5 wins, something like that, but
he lucked up and got the quarterback,
yep.
and the kid's done well. The kid's done well for sure. You mentioned Clemson at Pitt. You
Yeah.
talk about a landmine right there. Pitt coming off a beatdown,
Yeah.
and they're at home, and now they have a chance to really upset the apple cart if they knock Clemson off. They got the defense.
Yeah, Clemson loses, they're done. My book, because I mean, think about it. Like, it'll be their second ACC loss. It'll be their third overall because they lost to you guys that first week.
Mhm.
Um, what's the? Let me see. So
That was
Clemson is a 11.5 point favorite. That I wouldn't touch that at all. I
no
would not.
either. I don't
You are. Mm,
I don't have the confidence in Pittsburgh's being able to outscore Clemson. All it's going to take is for Klubnik to get on a heater for a couple of
right.
series. Or if they can't handle Maffa, which I think they can slow him down, but I'm gonna have to see that too. That's a big load right there.
Yeah, it is.
240 pounds of mean. Yeah, I'm excited. I be at the party for a couple hours, get home and watch the late 3:30 games on. Hopefully, that's the way I hope this.
Cool. I don't know. I'll get home tonight. I was mentioning earlier, I got some Wallace State basketball. I do PA announcing for them now at the game, so
Cool.
I'll be there this afternoon. I'll keep an eye on some of these, though. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
I'm watching some of this.
Well,
But yeah, no, I look at today, I look at, let's see, I look at Texas going to Arkansas. I look at Clemson going to Pitt. I look at, there's a few games. Obviously, Georgia, Tennessee, LSU at Florida, Mizzou at South Carolina. We pretty much touched on all of these, but yeah, this is a pretty good slate for teams on the road to get upset.
yeah, LSU, Florida, even though it's in the swamp, uh, and even though Lagway's going to play,
Yeah.
uh, I just don't have enough confidence in his ability to score enough points to outscore Nussmeyer. Uh, that might end up being a one of the crazier games of the day. The longer I think about it,
It's always crazy when they get together too.
because
It's always close. Yeah.
y'all punished the snot out of LSU last week, or actually, I should say, Milrow had a monster game, uh,
Yeah.
and they had no answer at all. And then Texas absolutely bludgeoned Florida last week. Good lord,
Yep.
that was like the Mongols attacking Baghdad, man. But
Cody says, "What is your score prediction for the Alabama game?" Oh, I don't know about a score. I mean, a lot to a little. Does that count? I mean, Alabama could score 50, they could score 40, and they'll give up maybe 14. I would give Mercer 2 touchdowns, and I'll give Bama honestly, I'm feeling like a 47-14 type of victory. I don't see too much, but I don't know. I mean, this is FCS school, but it's a good FCS school, but obviously they don't match up well with Alabama's type of game.
if Milrow plays more than a quarter and a half, I'd be shocked.
Oh,
Time.
that's right. I was listening to Locked On Bama, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, and they were saying that. They said, "What's the over under for Milrow going out?" And I said, I'm like, "Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that." And they were saying if he does not get benched in the second quarter, if they're up big, and if they don't put Ty Simpson in the second quarter, they said, I might lose my mind. Like, what are we doing? We got to rest him for Oklahoma and Auburn.
Well, I mean, look at it this way: you got 3 games left, so any freshmen that have not played, uh,
Right.
you can put them out there because it's not going to mess up the red shirt. Go ahead and let
I
them
want to
keep
see
listening.
I want to see guys like Daniel Hill and everybody, like all these recruits they got this year.
Hmm.
Yeah,
That
get them
and
out there.
we'll see how he plays the game, but that's what I would do if I was DeBoer. Uh, the score is inconsequential. This game is a glorified scrimmage, and
Hmm.
uh, nobody is going to make beans about it. Period. Uh, be a good day for Bama to exercise some kids off that roster and let them get some.
Yeah, I mean, there's guys we got like Danny Lewis as a tight end, a sophomore this year. Rico Scott's a freshman from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, and you got a lot of young guys that need to see the field, that deserve to see the field. I mean, I get when you don't play them against Georgia, LSU, you're probably not even going to play them against Auburn, but against Mercer, like I've been joking this week talking about, oh, they're called Mercy. Oh no, it's Mercer. I'm sorry. Uh, what's the mercy rule in this game for Alabama?
Oh, they just shorten the game, running clock or something like that.
Right.
I was accepted to the law school down there back in the day, and
Oh
chose
yeah.
somewhere else. And uh, uh, it's a good school, no doubt about it. It's one of the better. They've got one of the better law schools in the South. And,
Yeah.
at that time, they didn't have the campuses that they have now. It's really grown. We've got a satellite campus here in my town. So, uh,
You're talking about Mercer.
yeah,
Yeah.
and but they are still FCS, and they are little people. They're going to be playing big people,
Yeah.
bigger, faster people. Oh, it can be ugly. It
Nah,
could.
this is the opportunity, man, because there's like you look at the defensive side, okay? Freshman. I look at Justin, well, he's a senior, but Sterling Dixon, I've been waiting to see. I want to see Keon Keeley out there a little bit more. I want to see Caden Jones. I mean, there's a lot of guys. Devontae Smith is a corner. He's played a little bit. Um, I just, this is the moment for Alabama today to let the young guys play. You could, dude, it doesn't even have to be the quarterback. You could win this game with freshmen all game long if you play the young guys, rest the starters in the first freaking quarter. Get them experience, let them go out there, and you end up looking at it like this. These guys are ready to play next year when we lose some guys to the NFL.
Right.
I mean, Malachi Moore is probably going to be gone. So who steps up? Jalen Mbakwe, Xavier Mincy? I don't know.
Well, if nothing else, you can look at our defense right now and see
Yeah.
what graduation does to you. You know, all those guys during the run of glory there are gone.
Yeah.
Essentially, I mean, Beck was not a participant in any of that. And last year, the last of those guys finished, their eligibility and graduated. And so we're in a people hate hate the word of rebuild, but that's precisely
Hmm.
what's happening. And if Beck comes back next year, which is the speculation now, uh, we'll be formidable next year.
Yeah. Who do you, if he doesn't come back, who's next in line? Is it Stockton for quarterback?
I would probably say he'd have the edge going in, uh, mainly because he's been in the system, and
Hmm.
what he lacks in size, he's not the tallest guy. We've got the kid from Arizona State. Uh, he played a few games before he transferred out, and then we've got the true freshman who uh, he's not seen the field, but probably, arguably, he has the arm. Uh,
Yeah.
uh, I don't know if you saw any of the Tech Miami game last week. Did you?
No.
Oh,
I think I missed some of it, like a lot of it, but
well, they were putting in a true freshman quarterback to spell Haynes King because he was getting a he was keeping Tech in the game and won them the game, but he was still
Mhm.
hurting. I mean, he was having to go out limping several times in the game, and they put this true freshman in, and I'm struggling to remember his name, but you talk, he had an arm like Marino, dude. Holy
Nice.
nitty, that did the tightest spiral you ever saw in your life, and he was deadly accurate. And every time he was in there, he took them right down the field. It was I was truly shocked and worried about him. Uh, give somebody a really good quarterback, and you got a problem.
Yeah.
Well, I'll let you go here. Maybe there's someone else that wants to get in here and talk with you, and I'm going to go in here and make sure that she took everything she's supposed to take,
Okay.
and because I'm going to have to pick up the pieces anyway. I may still yet have to stop and get ice. But anyhow, enjoyed it, and good luck to y'all today, and good luck to everybody else. And
All right.
good.
Cool. Thanks, Harry. Good luck to Georgia. Quarterback might need luck. I don't know about the rest of that team, but we'll see. Um, yeah, that's all I got. I just wanted to come on here. I'm done going live for games. I'll watch them, keep an eye out. But gosh, I'm so tired this morning, for real, man. I crashed when I got home last night. I mean, I really did. I went to work, I got home, I went to bed. But yet I still wake up kind of tired. It's weird. I mean, then again, I probably did wake up about 7:30, 8 o'clock. I've only been up a little while, but yeah. Anyway, we're gonna get out of here. I love you guys. Jesus loves you. Hit that thumbs up on your way out, and we'll see you next time. Love y'all. God bless. From a Bama fan, roll tide. Peace.